The FBI method for winning difficult conversations. The world of high-stakes hostage negotiation might seem like a dramatic scene from a movie, but the psychological principles used by the FBI to save lives are remarkably effective in our daily human interactions. Whether you are navigating a high-pressure salary negotiation, resolving a deep-seated conflict with a partner, or simply trying to persuade a difficult client to see your vision, the core of these tactics is not about manipulation, it is about collaborative discovery. By moving away from the win-lose mindset and embracing the power of emotional intelligence, you can turn any confrontation into a constructive, results-oriented dialogue. These techniques, famously championed by former lead FBI international kidnapping negotiator Chris Voss, prioritize understanding the human element to gain influence. By ensuring that your counterpart feels heard, understood, and respected, you steer the situation toward your desired outcome while building stronger, more durable relationships in the process. 1. Tactical empathy, the secret weapon of connection. Tactical empathy is perhaps the most critical tool in the negotiator's belt, functioning as emotional intelligence applied with intentionality and precision. It is the practice of consciously stepping out of your own perspective to see the world through the eyes of the person standing across from you. Many people fail in communication because they mistakenly assume their counterpart thinks or feels exactly as they do, which is rarely the case. To master tactical empathy, you must actively identify the emotions and circumstances that drive their behavior, even if you fundamentally disagree with their stance. Instead of launching into your own arguments or defending your position, you should use labeling techniques. Phrases like, "It seems like you're worried about the security of this deal," or, "It sounds like you feel unheard in this process," allow you to name their emotions. When you label an emotion, you strip it of its negative power and demonstrate that you are truly listening, which immediately lowers the other person's natural defenses and creates a bridge for authentic, deep communication. 2. The power of mirroring, the 2-second trick. Mirroring is a deceptively simple yet profoundly effective technique used by negotiators to build instant rapport and extract vital information. The process is straightforward. Listen intensely to what the other person is saying, and when they finish a sentence, repeat the last 3 words, or the most critical 1 to 3 words, back to them as a question. This does not require you to be clever, argumentative, or manipulative. It simply requires you to act as a verbal mirror. By doing this, you signal that you are paying full attention and you encourage the other party to keep talking. This technique is remarkably effective because it forces the speaker to elaborate on their thoughts without you needing to ask a direct, potentially intrusive question. It creates a rhythm of safety, often prompting the other person to share hidden details they might have otherwise held back, providing you with a much clearer picture of their motivations, fears, and ultimate underlying goals. 3. Embrace the no to gain control. In traditional sales or social interactions, we are often taught to chase a yes at all costs, viewing it as the only sign of success. However, in the world of hostage negotiation, a yes is often a trap, a counterfeit agreement given simply to end the conversation, appease you, or avoid conflict. In reality, no is where the actual, substantive negotiation begins. It is a powerful tool because it provides the other person with a sense of safety and control. When you ask questions that lead to a no, you are actually empowering the other party to protect themselves and their interests. For example, instead of asking, "Do you have a moment to talk?" which pressures them to say, "Yes," try asking, "Is it a bad time to talk?" If they say, "No," they have effectively given you permission to proceed, and they feel much more comfortable doing so because they were the ones who decided the timing. Embracing the no removes the pressure and allows the conversation to flow naturally. 4. The that's right breakthrough. Your ultimate goal in any significant negotiation should not be to hear the other person say, "You're right," which is often a passive, dismissive way of telling you to stop talking, but rather to hear them say, "That's right." This 2-word phrase is the absolute gold standard of agreement. It signifies that you have successfully summarized their position, acknowledged their underlying emotions, and truly validated their reality. To reach this point, you must be a master of the summary. First, listen without interrupting. Second, label their emotions to show you understand their pain or frustration. Third, summarize their position in your own words. When you reflect their perspective back to them accurately, they will feel completely understood, and the natural reaction is to confirm that you have got it. Once you achieve that "that's right" moment, you have built the necessary trust and intellectual alignment to propose your own solution or ask for a compromise, and they will be far more likely to accept it. 5. Calibrated questions. The art of what and how. Questions that start with "why" are almost inherently accusatory and tend to trigger defensiveness immediately. If you ask someone, "Why did you do that?" they will feel the need to justify their actions or launch a counter-attack. Instead, hostage negotiators rely on calibrated questions, which start with what or how. These questions are specifically designed to give the other person the illusion of control while you guide the conversation toward your objective. A classic example is, "How am I supposed to do that?" When asked with a respectful, curious tone, this question forces your counterpart to grapple with your constraints and challenges. It shifts the burden of solving the problem onto them, often leading them to offer a solution that is much closer to your own goals. By consistently using what and how questions, you keep the negotiation in a collaborative, problem-solving mode rather than a competitive, aggressive one. 6. The accusation audit, disarming the negativity. Before entering any high-stakes conversation, it is vital to perform an accusation audit. This involves listing every negative thing you think the other person might be harboring against you or your position. Are they thinking you are being greedy, unreasonable, or self-centered? By bringing these potential criticisms into the light and saying them out loud before the other person can, you effectively neutralize the threat. You might say, "You are probably going to think that I'm being incredibly demanding for asking for this timeline," or, "I know this might come across as unfair given the current circumstances." This proactive approach demonstrates empathy, maturity, and deep self-awareness. It completely disarms the other person because they no longer have the ammunition to attack you with those points, and it builds a massive layer of trust by showing that you are not afraid to address the elephant in the room. Master the negotiation, master your life. At the end of the day, negotiation isn't about winning a battle or crushing your opponent, it is about human connection and discovery. By moving away from aggressive tactics and adopting these FBI-tested methods, you stop fighting for control and start building influence. Whether it's securing a better deal, resolving a conflict, or simply being heard in your daily life, these tools allow you to navigate even the most difficult conversations with confidence and composure. Remember, the goal is always to build a bridge, not a barrier. Start small, practice these labels and mirrors in low-stakes situations today, and watch how quickly the dynamic of your relationships begins to shift in your favor. If you're ready to level up your communication skills, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to join our community of high performers. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a strategy video. Drop a comment below telling me which tactic you're trying out first, and if you want me to create a dedicated guide on handling salary raises or high-stakes business deals, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.